Hello, friends. Today's topic you versus you, the battle nobody sees on board. The most dangerous decision is sometimes the one you make inside your own heads. At 0525, the alarm rings. The bridge is quiet outside. The sea is dark. The vessel is underway. The weather is marginal. The chief officer has a long day ahead. The master knows there are several decisions that need attention before the morning become busy. The alarm rings again. For a few seconds, there is no vessel to manage, no cargo operation, no charterers, no superintendent, no email, no port agent, just one person and one decision. Get up now or press the alarm and take another few minutes. It sounds too small to matter, but sometimes the smallest decision reveal the biggest battle because the real battle in shipping is not always owners versus charterers. It is not master versus chief officer. It is not vessel versus vessel. Sometimes it is you versus you. The professional you are today versus the professional you, your responsibility demands you become. And nobody is watching. That is what makes this battle so important. A few hours later, the same battle can appear on shore. An operator sees a difficult email. He knows it needs to be sent, but he thinks, I will send it after lunch. A superintendent notices the same operational weakness appearing again. He knows it needs investigations. We will look at it after this voyage. A manager knows a difficult conversation is necessary, but avoiding conflicts feels easier. And slowly, something happens. The problem doesn't disappear, it grows. A delayed mail can become a misunderstanding. A missed warning can become a delay. A small documentation gap can become a claim. A late escalation can become off hire. A repeated shortcut can eventually become a culture. This is the strange thing about shipping. The final result may look like one big event, but behind that event are hundreds of small decisions. Someone checked one more calculation. Someone asked one more questions. Someone escalated one concern before arrival. Someone preserved one important document. Someone noticed a machinery trend before it became a breakdown. Nobody applauded. Nobody made a video about it. But the vessel arrived safely. The claim was avoided. The operation continued. That is the invisible work behind operational excellence. Now, let me give you a simple situation. Imagine an operator receives an urgent message from a charterers. There is a developing port issue. The vessel may lose time. The commercial pressure is increasing. The first reaction is easy. Reply immediately. Defend the vessel. Defend the company. Push back. Send the email. But experienced operator learn something very different. The first reaction is not always the best decision. Stop, breathe, observe, then proceed. What are the facts? What is assumed? What is actually within our control? What evidence do we have? What does the charter party says? What could happen commercially if we respond incorrectly? And what need to be escalated now? That small pause can change everything because pressure does not create your operating systems. Pressure reveals the operating system you already have. This is where the battle becomes deeper. The weaker version of you says later. The stronger version says now. The weaker version react to every message. The stronger version protect attention. The weaker version says, I need motivation. The stronger version says, this is my responsibility. And that difference matters enormously at sea because the weather does not care about your mood. The cargo does not wait because you are tired. The machinery does not respect your schedule. And the charter party does not change because an email was postponed. Professional discipline is not about being perfect, it is about being reliable, checking the calculations, reading the clause, making the difficult calls, escalating the concerns, verifying the instructions, completing the follow ups, documenting the decisions again and again and again. That is how competence compounds, not through one heroic movements, but through hundreds of small corrections, a better briefing, a better handover, a better questions, a better risk assessment, a earlier escalation, a calmer response, a clearer email, a more disciplined follow-up, one watch at a time, one voyage at a time, one decision at a time. And here is the most powerful shift. Don't ask only what result do I want? Ask what kind of professional consistently produces that results? If you want fewer claims, become the professional who documents properly. If you want fewer operational surprises, become the professional who communicate early. If you want stronger team, become the leader who remain calm under pressure. If you want better commercial outcomes, become the operator who understand the operational reality behind the commercial decision. Don't chase the result. Build the professional who produces the results. And this applies to everyone. For the master, what is the biggest safety operational or commercial risk today? For chief officer or engineer, what condition or trend could become a failure? For the operator, what operation, what information will matter commercially if the situation changes? For superintendent, is this an isolated defect or a system problem? For commercial team, what operational assumption sits behind the commercial decisions? And for the young officer, what would the more experienced version of me noticed here? The last question may be the most powerful. Because professional growth is really the process of closing a gap, the gap between who you are and who you know you can become. And you don't close that gap in one day, you close it through daily choices. So, tomorrow morning, before the emails, WhatsApp messages, weather reports, and operational noise again, take a few minutes. Ask yourself three questions. What matters today? Where could I lose control or attention? And what would the better version of me do first? Then act. At night, ask another three questions. Where did I win the battle today? Where did I lose it? What will I change tomorrow? That creates a simple, professional feedback loop. Action, reflection, correction, better action. Without reflection, experience can become repetitive. With reflection, experience becomes a learning. So the next time you are under pressure on board or sitting at an operational desk or negotiating a difficult commercial issue, remember this: the person across the email is not always your biggest competitor. The vessel next to you is not always your biggest competitors. Your previous performances, your previous standard is, your previous reaction is, because the deepest battle is not outside you, it is inside you. The weaker version say later. The stronger version says now. The weaker version reacts. The stronger version pause, assess, and decides. The weaker version chases recognition. The stronger version builds capabilities. And eventually, that invisible battles becomes visible in safer decisions, stronger teams, better communication, fewer surprises, better commercial outcome, and the professional people can trust. So, when the alarm rings tomorrow morning, remember the first battle of the day may have nothing to do with the vessel. It may simply be you versus you. And the question is not, can I beat everyone else? The better question is, can I become better than the professional I was yesterday? Because in shipping, operational excellence begins with mastering the person making the decisions. Thank you.